the channel if you need a recap. So we're finishing off the second vulnerability, which was the top lock. So Car's and Mike was work. So a lot of this is just rehashing what we covered last time. So if you think about it, when I want to get into the top lock, the best angle is to get Carl at 45 degrees. We talked about last time how when Carl had his grip, and I make that number one grip, that cross collar grip. If Carl's back is straight in his posture and I try to climb on my legs to get into the top lock, there's too much posture. But the opposite also happens if he's down low. If he's way down here and I try to climb into the top lock, it's difficult. So the perfect angle is 45 degrees. If you think his back's 90 and completely posture broken 0, that's the angle I want him at. The good thing is, how do I get him at that angle? When I come up into this cross collar grip, and Carl's most likely going to be making his frame, I'm going to get my elbow on the inside, and now I can use that as a wedge, but I'm not just pulling. Right? What's actually breaking Carl's posture is the pulling on my legs, not so much the arms. Now when I get him to 45 degrees, I can keep him there with this grip. If Carl tries to posture again, it's quite difficult. And now this is the perfect time for me to climb into the top lock. So that's the first thing I need, his body at 45 degrees. The other thing I need is his elbow on the inside. If I get Carl at 45 degrees and he actually clamps his elbows to outside my hips, there's no way I'm going to get the top lock now. I actually need Carl's right elbow on the inside. So that's when I make this cross grip. And I'm going to start pulling his arm across. And once I get Carl's right elbow on the inside of my left hip, and I've got his posture broken to 45 degrees, I can now uncross my legs. My right helps me climb till I get my left leg over the shoulder. Okay? And then I cover it with my right. Okay? And now we're in this 45 inside position. So we looked at it last time. There's two things Carl can do from here. To get it back, he can turn his shoulder into me, or he can start to stack me. We showed you how to defend that by, if he turns his shoulder into me, I move my head this way. If he starts to stack me, I just turn my head, so now I've created space for him to fall into. And of course that is going to give us the armbar, which we also looked at. So the drill is, there's two ways of getting into 45 inside. I can get the collar grip first, and this overclass grip, and my elbows on the inside, and then I'll use my legs to pull Carl down. Once I get him at 45, I can make the cross grip and pull his elbow to the inside of my hip. Okay? So now he's at 45, I'll use my right leg to climb, and my left to come over the top, and then I cover it. Okay? That's one way into it. Possibly when you're drilling this, Carl's going to try and turn his shoulder in, and I move my head to the same side of the shoulder that he's turning in, and he tries to stack me, I just turn my head so there's no pressure on my neck. So again, the second way of getting it is I can get the cross collar grip first, so I can actually, even if he has the grip on the lapels here, I can find the cross grip and just move his elbow slightly in. Once I have his elbow on the inside, now I can make the collar grip, and now from there I pull with my legs to get him in the 45 inside. Then I'll open my legs, I climb with my right, and then I'm getting my left over the top. Now I want to make sure the inside of my knee is right on Carl's shoulder, and then I cover it with the other leg. And then if he tries to turn his shoulder in, I just turn. If he tries to stack me, I turn my head. And if, for those that are familiar with the armbar, we showed you 3 details on the class before we went into lockdown. From that position, I want to make sure that I'm covering Carl's wrist, because if I go for the armbar and I'm not controlling this wrist, once I get to here, Carl can make his Mata-Leon defense, whereby his right hand is going to find his left bicep. And if I get to there, I'm never in a million years going to hit that armbar. So from the top lock, the first thing I'm thinking about is covering this wrist. That was the first detail. So now from that position, even if Carl now decides to go hand to hand, when I actually have the arm bar, I still have it. The second thing we looked at when we were going for the arm bar, cover the wrist was the first thing. When I actually start to go into the armbar, my right foot is actually going to go on the back of his head. That's why I have angular advantage. And then the third thing, the last thing we got to, is when I swing this leg over, the detail of always keeping my feet lower than my knees. Anytime my feet is above my knees, Carl can pull his hand out. Anytime my feet are below my knees, right now, I can take this opportunity. So how do we put that all together? So from this, 45 inside us, he makes that initial grip. I can either get the cross collar or the cross grip first, or I prefer to get the collar first, the bend in the arm. I like to get the 45 inside first, then I work on getting that, and then I climb into the top lock. Then you're going to work out when he turns his shoulder and I turn my head, or he goes to stack me, turn my head. And then when the moment's right, I glue this to my body. The wrist is everything. Okay? And then when I hit the arm bar, this foot's touching his head. And when I come over into the arm bar, I'm thinking about keeping my feet lower than my knees. Okay, so let's play with that.